Hello everybody, this is Hobby the Gamer here with my second season of my Doncaster Rovers Road to Glory. As is tradition, I like to show off where we finished in the league, how we did in the cups, what the team sheet looked like, and things like that. So, unfortunately, I did come down with a cold these past couple days, so if my voice is a little off, that's why. I had a sore throat. Now, it's gotten a little bit better. I can speak relatively normally, so hopefully it's not too off-putting, but that's just what was up. So moving into the league standings, we finished in 11th. We had 16 wins, 14 draws, 16 losses. That gave us a total of 62 points. Moving into the top six, Ipswich won the league. Rotherham United came in second. Barnsley, Huddersfield, Derby, and Charlton rounded out the other spots. And for a newly promoted team, I think we did fairly well, finishing mid-table. That's bang average, probably right about mid-table. So I did make a couple transfers for next season. I think we can compete, and hopefully I'm aiming to finish in probably fifth or sixth. Maybe even challenge for the first or second spot, but that would be pretty ambitious. So I think the fifth and sixth spots would be a nice challenge for us to go for. Moving into the Emirates FA Cup, Liverpool absolutely dominated Bournemouth in the final. They beat them 4-0. Moving on, we made it pretty far down in this competition. We made it to the sixth round against Northampton, where we would lose at home 2-1. In the fifth round, we were up against Brentford. We beat them 4-3 on penalties after it finished 1-1 full time. In the replay, we had Coventry. We beat them at home 2-0. That first fixture, it ended in a 1-1 draw, so moved to the replay where we got the job done. Round 3, up against Crystal Palace, we beat them away from home 1-0. Round 2, right there in the front, we beat Lincoln 2-1, so we did pretty well in this competition, I would say. So I was pretty happy where we finished. No complaints there. I was a little iffed that we lost against Northampton, as I think they're in the championship now. But it is what it is, so. Moving to the Carabao Cup, we have Manchester City winning it all. They beat West Ham 2-1, and we did not make it far at all. We lost in the second round against Accrington. They beat us 5-4 on penalties. Not what we want to see, but that's just how it is. And in the Papa John's Trophy, we did not do so hot compared to last season, where we made it all the way to the final. Wigan Athletic beat Ipswich 3-2, and yeah, you can see in the group we did not do well. That's really all I can say. We had 2 losses, 0 points, and it was just bad, just horrible. But we can get into the team sheets. This is the average, what the squad looked like for majority of the season. I use the 3-4-1-2. I think that I have the low wingers here acting as wing backs. I brought in a couple left wing backs, and I could slot them in the winger spot if we needed to. But I like this formation. It worked out. It worked out pretty well for us. This from the 5-3-2. It was all right. I just didn't like how defensive it was. It didn't really give that many options in the attack, which is why I favored the 3-4-1-2. And this one, I didn't really use this one. This is just a default. I might start using it again, seeing how it works, but it could be a shout as to new formation. So, but with that being said, we can go into the league highlights. All right, moving on to the first game of these highlights, we have Bradford City. George Miller gets played in. He does very well to take a shot, and he scores and gives us the win over Bradford City. MK Dons up next, and they just kind of ran the table against us. Just horrible defending from us. We just completely looked unorganized in the back and just gaps of space, really. Of course, he's never missing from there, but Henry Lansbury would get us a goal back with this absolutely magnificent free kick. I think this was the first one I scored this season, and takes it wonderfully, but it would not be enough to get a draw. Moving on, we have Barnsley. Miller gets played in. Again, he shoots, he scores. He's that type of clinical finisher, just what we need, and he gives us all 3 points. Cole Stockton running down the left-hand side. His cross in finds Ewan Henderson, who rises up. His header gets into the back of the net, and he gives us the win. Scott Banks now plays in a little cross to George Miller. George Miller's shot initially, the keeper gets a hand to it, but it's not enough to keep it out of the net. Wickham would get a goal back, just horrible defending. We just let their number 11 run right through the defense, and he scores from the near post. But Cole Stockton doing what he does, playing it into Henderson. Henderson scores and will give us the win versus Wickham. Next game we have Cambridge. John Taylor over on the right-hand side plays it into, I believe that was Henderson, or he scores though. And I don't know why I kept it in, but I kept it in. It falls to Cambridge, and they would equalize in the 25th minute. Ben Close finding Miller, who just runs through, and he does really well to shrug off the defender, and he slams that ball home. But Cambridge would inevitably get back into the game. Just horrible defending again, and Cambridge would get the equalizing goal. However, Josh Andrews' strike rattles the crossbar. This is just a super jammy goal well into stoppage time, but Cole Stockton plays in Josh Andrews, who scores the winner versus Cambridge. Ewan Henderson running through the Plymouth Argyle defense. His shot finds the back of the net. He scores and gives us the win. Bristol Rovers would strike first in this game. Very jammy goal. Shot initially saved by Mitchell, but he can't keep it out, and it rolls into the back of the net. Ben Close, though, running down the right-hand side, he sends it across to George Miller. His diving header is initially saved by the keeper, but the keeper cannot keep it out, and he gives the equalizing goal. Miller would get a brace here as well. He gets played in through from Cole Stockton, and Miller would give us the lead versus Bristol. However, Bristol would come back. Their cross in finds their number 9, and Bristol would get a point. Moving on, we have Oxford United. They would strike first. Just good shot. Keeper probably should be doing better, but they strike first in the 63rd minute, and Paul Smith would get things going for us. Josh Andrews plays it over to Henderson. Ewan Henderson, his diving header finds back in the net, and he would give us a point back. Ben Close playing in Molyneux. Molyneux does really well here to keep control of the ball. His low shot finds the back of the net, and we take the lead over Crawley Town. Robertson playing in Satona, though. Satona played into Hugel. Hugel, his strike finds the back of the net, and we would extend the lead over Crawley. But in the 65th minute, Crawley would find the way back into the game. They have a lifeline now. However, Scott Banks steps up with the free kick. He secures all 3 points with his fabulous free kick. Just had the keeper rooted to the spot. Lovely free kick. Moving on, we have Lincoln City. Ben Close playing in the Cole Stockton. Danny Cashman, lovely finesse shot on the edge of the box. 89th minute, and he gives us the lead, but we were not done yet. Ewan Henderson, his header hits off the post, but we get the win. Molyneux plays it over to Ewan Henderson. Henderson just plays in Hugo in the FA Cup. We strike first against Northampton, but Northampton would get a goal back in the 35th minute. They just played around. We can't get it clear, and they would strike again. They would eventually go on to get the winner. Just good passing play between them. We really just couldn't do much about it, and his strike sends Northampton to the semifinals of the FA Cup, and we get knocked out. Cambridge again, they will score. Keeper really should be doing better there, but we will get back into it. Danny Cashman running down the left-hand side, playing into Cole Stockton, does well with the chest touch, and he would salvage a point for us. Rotherham next, they absolutely just obliterated us. They were miles above us. They were relegated from the championship last year, I believe, so they just have better quality players, and they just demolished us. Already 2-0 up against us in the 63rd minute. This free kick, really nothing the keeper can do about it. Just a fabulous free kick. Yeah, it's absolute beauty. 3-0, and they would eventually tack on the fourth in the 73rd minute. Just runs through miles of space left from the defense, but next game, Owolu gives up a penalty, but Jonathan Mitchell does well to get low and stop the shot against Cheltenham. Cole Stockton playing in Ewan Henderson. Henderson does well to control the ball, and he slams that shot home versus Shrewsbury, and he would give us the win. Cole Stockton, absolutely lovely touch, fantastic footwork and skill versus Ipswich. He gives us the lead in the 15th minute. He plays in Ewan Henderson. Ewan Henderson with a lovely little dink to give us all 3 points versus Ipswich. And that is all for these highlights. Alright, now that the league highlights are done, I'll do a little outro here. First, I want to run by the stats real quick. Top appearances, Jonathan Mitchell with 56. I believe that was a little down from last year. I think last year was like 60-ish or something. But still, 56 is really good. Roshan Williams coming in with 46 as well. And then rounding out would be Joseph Owolu. Top goal scorer goes to Loney Ewan Henderson with 15 in 33 matches. Second goes to George Miller with 13 in 29. And third goes to Cole Stockton, new transfer signing, 28 in 9. Top assists goes to midfielder Ben Close, 10 assists in 31 appearances. Cole Stockton, 7 assists in 28 appearances. And Politic with 4 assists in 31 appearances. Top clean sheets expectedly going to Jonathan Mitchell with 13. Wolu getting 10 clean sheets. There's actually a 4-way tie. I just see that now with Tom Anderson, Roshan Williams, and Luke Molyneux. Wow. So, 4-way tie for second. Pretty crazy. But, yeah, I'll just go through a couple of the new signings that I signed. Jordan Hugo was a free agent that I picked up. I mean, he was alright. I wasn't really too impressed with him, to be honest. I thought the former Norwich striker could bring a little bit more quality to this team, but he really didn't. And the stats show that he only got 6 goals, 29 appearances. And Ewan Henderson was another loanee that I brought in. I liked him. Obviously, he was a top goal scorer, so he did pretty well. I think he fit in nicely, so I might try to bring him back on a permanent loan basis. Cole Stockton was the other transfer that I brought in. He came in from Morecambe, and yeah, they were relegated, so he's a 68 overall. I mean, I think that was a good bit of business. I think I paid like $1.125 million for him or something like that. So, I mean, it was a little under his market value. So, I think it was a good deal. And stats show that he got 9 goals, 7 assists. target man striker, doing what he does best. So I'm definitely going to keep him around for next season. But as for Jordan Hugill, I think if an offer comes in, transfer offer comes in, I'll probably sell him. Obviously, if it's a realistic one, if he's not going to I don't know, Australia or something. I don't really think he would go to Australia, but another English side, maybe the MLS, maybe Spain. I would think that would be somewhat realistic. So moving on, another loanee that I brought in, Danny Cashman. Brought him in January transfer window. He impressed me. Obviously, you saw that fantastic goal that he scored in the league, and I think I got him for 2 years. Yeah, 2-year loan deal. I think there is also there's a sell-on clause, $1.3 million. He's got his value is a little under $1 million, so I don't really think I'm gonna buy him this season, and we'll see how well he does next season. Scott Banks was another loanee for midfield that I brought in. I don't have there is a settle buy. There's a clause in his $700,000. I think that's well under his market value. So I think his loan is ending this year. So I might try to bring him back. I don't know. I might let him walk. I'm not too certain about that though, so I'll think about it. Scott Robertson was one that I brought in from the free agents. Young Scottish center. He was originally a center mid. I moved him to center attacking mid. So I mean, he did all right. He 39 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists, 4 clean sheets. Not the best, but he was all right. I think I brought him. I mostly use him as a rotational midfielder. So Liam Shaw was another loanee that I brought in from Scotland. Young English center midfielder. He was all right too. Nothing too special. He didn't score any goals. Had 1 assist, 33 appearances. So I don't think I'm going to bring him back on a permanent loan basis. So Dennis Politic was the other free agent that I brought in as well. The young Romanian played for Port Vale last season, and he has an understanding of the English league team. So I think realistically, he might want to stay in the English football pyramid. So that's why I brought him in. Plus, we need another midfielder, left mid. So that's why I brought him in. Tyler Onyango was the other loanee that I made permanent. Everton was about to recall him back because apparently I wasn't playing him enough, but he was a really good rotational player for us, and I wanted to keep him around because the other free transfer that I made last season, Henry Lansbury, he was the original starter, but obviously he's 33, retiring, so he was originally 67 overall. So obviously he was a starter, and that's why Onyango was the rotation player for us. But Everton were too happy, but I wanted to keep him, so I bought him for, I think I had a sell-on clause for $900,000, I believe. So Perry Kitchen was the other center defensive midfielder I brought in from the free agents. I felt we needed another center defensive mid. Adam Clayton, 35 years old, 54 overall. Wasn't really going to cut it for us, so that's why I brought in Perry Kitchen, 32, the American, 64 overall. Wasn't too bad. Did all right for us. Put a shift in every time I started him, so not too bad, not too shabby. Henry Lansbury, he was originally a center mid, but his pace was, he was 47 pace, so I moved him to a center defensive mid, and obviously he scored that first free kick in the league highlights, so he was our free kick taker for this season for the most part before he started to really regress in his overall, unfortunately, which kind of sucked, but Onyango stepped up, so not too shabby. Jasper Moon was the other loanee I brought in from Barnsley. Center back, 23, young Englishman. 66 overall, group plus 3 in his overall. He was alright for us. I mean, I liked him. I don't think I'll bring him back on a... Yeah, I didn't even set a sell-on clause, so I don't think I'm going to bring him back. And this was the other center back that I brought in from the free agents list. Anaitz Arbia, 37, Spanish, was a 70 overall, -1 in his overall. I mean, it's not too bad comparing the other regressions that the older players have made. So he was pretty good. He was a fantastic. Look at those stats: 82 free kick, 83 shot power, 81 curve. He's got 37 finishing though, so he's kind of hit or miss with his free kicks. But I mean, with Henry Lansbury regressing more and more, Arbia kind of stepped up to be the next free kick taker. So yeah, Matthew Sornola, I brought him in just because I needed a left wing back. I mean, and with the formation that I was using, the 3-4-1-2, I would have the left wing backs slot into the left winger spot and put a shift in. So he's not too happy with this play time. He wanted to be more involved, but I didn't really use a defensive formation, so the left wing backs and the right wing backs kind of got left out, unfortunately. But same with Andre Reynolds II. We need another left back, so I brought him in from the free agents, and he was alright. I didn't really play him too much, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Jonathan Mitchell, starting keeper, 29 years old, English, 65 overall. Did pretty good. I might start looking at getting an upgrade, maybe a younger player. Maybe Lewis Jones might get a couple starting spots in, but 65, I might start looking for a higher overall, especially if you want to be competing for the 5th and 6th spots of the promotion. So then we can take a look at the youth academy as well. We have a few prospects. Jackson Parsons, switching him to a left midfielder to a left wing back. 17, 62 overall. Looks to be pretty good. He's got nice potential. Andrew Amos, Nigerian, 18, 61 overall. Also seems to be pretty good. Yeah, so I'll just run through, show you guys these players real quick. Yeah, we got a couple decent fellows there. And let's go through the transfer history for us. Yeah, top transfer out with Rio Griffiths. I didn't really like him. I mean, I'm sure in real life he's a fine person, but in game there's nothing special about him. So, seeing as I could get $2 million out of him, I felt that better for him to go and move his playing days somewhere else. Aiden Barlow, I didn't really intend to sell him, but with Middlesbrough calling for his services, I felt that was a realistic transfer out, so that's why I sold him for $1.85 million. I already mentioned this. Cole Stockton coming in from Morecambe. And I would say that's somewhat realistic as well. Team that was relegated from League One. This player, he would want to stay in League One and play for us. So, and he was a starter as well, so I think that was a realistic move. I talked about Onyango as well. Everton wanted to recall him back, but I decided to activate his buyout clause. So this is one of the free transfers I made. Nathaniel Mendez Lang, 32 years old, 68 overall. We're gonna need a right midfielder with Scott Banks. I think I'm gonna let him go back to his home, back to his parent club. So yeah, Jack Diamond, also another free transfer I found. 24, he's young, English, 68. I felt this was somewhat realistic as well. He's going to go to the free agents anyways, so might as well pick him out on a free transfer. Yeah, Danny Cashman brought in on loan. Shornola brought in on loan. Scott Banks brought in on loan. Jasper Moon, Ewan Henderson, Liam Shaw. And let's go through the free agents. Yeah, Jordan Hugel, Barry Kitchen, Andre Reynolds II, Anaita Abuya, Scott Robertson, Dennis Politich. So, I look back on this, I think this is all somewhat realistic. Obviously, FIFA 23, it's never going to be like real life, but I did see that Doncaster do make a lot of free transfers, so they don't really buy too many players. So with the free agents, the free transfers, the loanees coming in too. So I think I'm doing a pretty good job keeping this somewhat realistic. And finally, we can take a look at the board objectives. Yeah, they're not too happy with me. I did sign Jordan Hugel and Cole Stockton were both signed to an important role. I don't know, there's supposed to be a bug or something, but I don't know why it's not completed. Maybe at the end of the season or something, but yeah, they wanted us to gain an automatic promotion. That was never happening. They only gave us a few $1 million, so I didn't really think I could strengthen the squad too much with that, but still. Plus, keeping it kind of realistic as well. I mean, when are you going to see a League 2 team make automatic promotion from League 2 to League 1? I mean, it rarely ever happens, so financial, yeah, profit from youth player sales. I haven't really sold anybody yet, so. But I think with that is going to be all for this week's episode. Fortunately, I don't have any live games to play. We didn't make it to any cup finals. There wasn't any promotion or anything like that, so unfortunately, that's why I let the highlights run out for a little bit longer than I would usually have them being, but hopefully next season I'll have a couple live games for you, so stick around for that. If you guys enjoyed this week's episode, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to hear if you have any more suggestions as to what formations I should use, what players I should scout. I'm really open for anything, so with that, please like and subscribe, and have a fantastic day.